Hey guys, my name is Violet Ray. I know I'm really late on this tag, and that's okay, because I'm just doing it for fun. And it's Arwen's tag for Arwen's tarot tag. And it just looked really fun, and I thought I would, jump on board with it. So I'm going to give that a go, and let me put my eyeballs on. Okay. So the first question is, what is your current favorite deck? That's hard for me. One that I always go back to is the Goddess Tarot or the Witch's Tarot. I always go back to those two because it is just so simple and, like a very loving, vibrant personality, and it just resonates with me a lot. It's more like going back to home. Those are two decks I always go back to. My current favorite deck is the Cosmic Tarot. That has been one that I'm just been in love with. And the Gothic Tarot. But oh my god. So right now, my favorite deck that I'm working with right now and doing readings with right now is the Cosmic Tarot. Okay, what tarot card do you think stands for who you are now? Right now, I would probably say I'm the Three of Wands. And Ace of Wands. Three of Wands, probably. I recently started to get back into the online community, social networking, and, starting to offer my services more online. And, I've always, for the past 3 years, just been local and just wanted to stay local and, do events here and there. I have my clients that come home to my house. It's very low key for me. So right now I'm in a very expanding mode, wanting to meet new people and to network, and now I feel comfortable to get out there, and I feel comfortable to be more outgoing online and that kind of stuff. So I would say the Three of Wands. What tarot card do you think stands for who you want to be? Whew. Okay, well, I guess it depends what my mood is. But one card that I would want to be. I'm a very fiery person. Probably the Queen of Wands, or no. Who I would want to be would be maybe the Nine of Pentacles. Only because you've made your name, you've made where you want to be with your career, and career is very important to me. It's very important to be independent. So, and just being in luxury. Who wouldn't want to live in a silk robe all day and just, do your passion, and not because you want to, not because you have to? That would be awesome. Okay, so draw a tarot card and tell us how it answers the question, what does the universe want you to know right now? So, I use the Cosmic Tarot, and let's see what the universe wants me to know right now. I know, people always say, why do you do the bridge? I do the bridge just because in my head, doing the bridge clears it along with me knocking. I always do it 3 times. It's just a habit. Okay. And then I ask the question. Oh, and it looks like, here we go, one flew out. 3 of Pentacles. So what the universe wants me to know right now is, it's really cool that this card comes up, because part of me doing filming and getting back on YouTube is the community and all the teamwork and everybody working together, and me, making my website, upgrading it to where I can offer my services online. It's just to get back into this community and to meet new people and that kind of stuff, and this is really cool. It's hit the nail on the head for sure. Teamwork and hard work and studying and all of that. And it's a really beautiful card. It just shows a lot of love going into what they're building. So that's pretty cool. What's the next question? Do you have any cards that you must love in order to work with a deck? Yes and no. I have cards that, like, as soon as I get the deck, I flip through to look at them. Or if I see one of these key ones and I don't like it, I still try to work with the deck. Even though, here's the thing, I don't like to say negative things about decks online because I feel like that'll change other people's opinions and it could have been really good for them. But I always try to work with it, even if it doesn't feel like what I need it to feel like. When it does that, and there's not a lot of decks that really do that to me, what else is it trying to tell me? What is this deck trying to show that, you know, it's just seeing it through new eyes, I feel. So I try to stay open-minded about it. I try to want to look at in different situations. It just challenges you more. But the cards that I do have to look at are the death card, of course. Excuse me. And I know Arwen said star too, so I'm not going to say star. The death card is for 100% sure that I need to look at. The Ace of Swords is one. The Knight of Swords is one. The Chariot. I would say the main ones I look at is the Three of Swords, Death obviously, the Three of Swords, and the Three of Wands, actually. Yeah, I think those are the ones I always look at because they're supposed to be very, very intense and shocking and, you know, not the Three of Wands, but the Three of Swords. So it's supposed to be very emotional and to really hit your core. And, you know, not that I want to scare your clients off, but it's just, it's matters of the heart. That's a really important one, I would think. So probably those two. But there are other cards I look at. Death 100% is my number one. Number one, I have to look at it. Let's go to the next one. Why tarot and not some other divination system? Well, when I was younger, I know I look white. I said this in another video, but I'm Mexican. My grandma would take me to witch doctors, and to this day she goes to them, and they all know me and ask about me, and I love going to see them because I feel like I grew up with that. And what she would go for would be readings and candle workings, and that, I'm fire. Candles are always going to be my go-to involved in any and every spell I do. Always. But the tarot cards were always something that really interested me as a kid. I do oracle. I do work with the pentacle. Not a pentacle. I guess I don't work with it as much as I should, right? And runes. I work with runes a lot too. The dowsing thing. The one... I just fucked this whole video up, right? Fuck me. I know what it's called. I'm fucking nervous. The thing hanging on the string. I have a quartz on mine. But, I love working with that. Runes lately, though, have been my big thing with candles. I work with runes a lot. I make my own candles. I use runes for everything, and I use the witch's runes as well. But tarot is just so extensive. You can use it for any and every situation. It's my habit. Like, I get up every day and I pull a card, or something's going on at work, I pull cards, or so-and-so is telling me about this problem, whether they ask me to or not, I pull cards and, try to help as best as I can. It's just always been there, and it never lies to me. Like, it just, you're so connected to it that why else would you do anything else? That's just me. I did, when I was starting to get back into tarot years and years ago, I did work a lot with oracle cards, and I have a lot of oracle decks, and unfortunately now I only use 1 or 2 decks for oracle, and I mainly use tarot. So it was good to get back into things and to ease my way into just back into things and not overwhelming myself. But tarot's always been my go-to. I don't think anything else will replace it. What's the first book you can remember reading about tarot, other than the Little White Book? Was it 78 Degrees of Tarot? I believe it was 78 Degrees of Tarot, and it was a long time ago, and I didn't understand it. I really at the time, I've reread it and understand it and appreciate it now, but I was, 15, 16, and I just thought, oh, this is easy, I don't want to sound disrespectful to the cards, but at the time I was like, well, it's like, the Ouija board, it's like a game, you don't really know too much about it. So I thought the book would be quick read. I like reading, and it was not something I was ready for at that time. That was the first one. The next one is Tarot for Yourself. I read that one. I read the 21 Different Ways to Read Tarot. That was really, really cool. I think that book was one that, Tarot for Yourself was always fun because, you get to work with your cards, of course, but the 21 Different Ways to Read Tarot was really interesting and challenging to try to do things that you naturally don't do, and some things stuck with me, some things didn't, but it was a cool challenge. Those 3 were my books. What tarot person would you like to sit down with for a chat about tarot? I'm gonna say on the YouTube community, of course Arwen's awesome, of course, so of course her, but aside from her, I love Nico. I absolutely love him. I've loved him for years. I loved him since he had that other channel and did those where he would talk about the tarot card upright and reversed, and he was in an alley and it was hard to hear him, and he looked so young, and just, he has my heart. I watched him for years and years and years, and I had a YouTube channel at that time that no longer is, and I took down, but it was funny when I found him. I was back into things and really excited, and it's he came at a perfect time. And then when he made the new channel and his astrology channel, and I was getting into astrology at the time, it was heaven. It was perfect. So he will always have a good spot in my heart, because when I was getting back into things, he was he knew so much, and it was just so amazing to see him and to see where he is now. It's so cool. I feel like he's a celebrity. I followed him for years, and I can't help but think, who else would I want to talk to? The one I watch all the time. I watch a lot of tarot readers, but he's the one I feel I could actually, have a drink, talk shit with, and get some work done with the cards, so that would be cool. Tell me about one YouTube tarot channel that you watch and why. Okay, so I just answered my own question. That's really cool. Nico. I for that reason, you know, it's been years, so I guess I'll say someone else just to make it interesting. And I don't want to say Ebony because Arwen already said Ebony. Moon, what's her name? Moonlight Tarot. I think she hasn't been on for years, but I watched her so much, and I loved her because I really love working with dark decks, and she reviewed so many very, very good dark decks. Let's see, I know I have her on here. Okay. Owl Moon 513. Yes, I love her. Love her. I know I say, like, I don't want to speak negatively about any tarot cards, but that's only because I don't want to force my opinion on someone who maybe this deck would have been perfect for them if they didn't hear my opinion about this card, or not that that would put anybody off that much to not buy it, but, you know, I love her because she does get the dark a lot, especially, you know, I learned about shadow work through her, and working with your tarot cards through shadow work and things like that, and she's always been really awesome and really honest and brutally honest, and I've always loved that. I've always been about that, so she would be another one. How many tarot decks do you have? I really don't have as many as people would think. I tend to change tarot decks every maybe 2-3 months, 2 months. Sometimes I get really I get bored quick, so I don't even, no, that's not true. I buy a lot too. I would say right now about 14 or 15 between there, and I love them all, and I've worked with them all for a very long time. So it's really, it seems like a lot, but when you pull cards every day, it's not, because you want to see new imagery, you want to change things all the time. And I do have a wish list that I just started, and there's about 4 decks on there that I might be getting within the next month or two, just to have something new. You know, something new to work with, and you always have to go back to journaling and doing all that, and I think I'm ready to get back into making a new connection. So yeah, probably around 14. Do you mix Oracle and Tarot when you read? Yes, I do. Usually I pull an advice after, or what they should go home to think about, or where they can focus their energies on, and that kind of stuff, and they usually all intermingle and go together, so it's always worked very, very well for me. Like I said, I don't use that many Oracle decks. I have a lot, but I don't use them all. Have you ever created your own tarot card or deck? Yes. I have 3 tarot cards right now that I designed, and the people that are creating my website, we've talked about after we get all of this said and done in this whole project, and you know, I go into the summer because I'm vending at Warped Tour and doing a couple of paranormal events and horror conventions, that once that kind of dies down, maybe, you know, this November, get back into working with them to finish a whole deck, you know, to start working on a whole deck, because I've only got about 3 cards for sure ideas, and 4 other ideas for the cards, but not set in stone. I've got the color schemes, I've got, you know, I want them to be I want them to be in Spanish. I want them to be very old school art, and yeah, that it would be it would be awesome, even if like I don't sell them, or if I just make them for myself or for friends and family or people that I know in the community to send to for fun. Even if it was something a little like that, I definitely do want to make my own deck. Do you read for yourself? Like every day? Like every day, every time anything happens, when I'm anxious about something. And, you know, tarot is really good for people who have anxiety, because anytime I feel like, you know, I have this weird feeling, or I don't trust this, or I got this really weird vibe, I don't know, you know, what can I, maybe it's just energetically I'm too open and I'm receiving too much and can't really organize my thoughts and feelings, or, you know, what is it? Like, tarot really helps me calm down and just, the best way to describe it is to categorize my feelings and my thoughts and to understand what is coming from what. You know, why am I feeling this way? Does it have anything to do with this situation, or am I just overly analyzing shit? So, yeah, I pull every day. What are your favorite questions to be asked when you are doing a reading for someone else? One thing I really like 2 days ago, my friend was going through this really awkward transition through work and her environment and home life, and, you know, like all very pivotal turning points in her life were happening at once. I can't talk tonight. And, you know, it's that, not necessarily like those questions, but it's those moments that I love to help with, because that's where I can really like help them, you know, narrow in their focus on what they want and what they need, and how to really, you know, go about dealing with moving to the next phase of their life, like the next big phase of their life. And you know, I feel like when I went through really big changes and things like that, what meant the most to me were people who helped me through that. And that's what I want to be for people, is when, you know, they're lost, they don't know who to go to, who to turn to, who they can trust and stuff. Like, I always want to be that friend that always wants the best outcome for them, the outcome they want for themselves, you know. So that's what I like. So I guess those questions would be, you know, what will happen if I do this with my life, or what, I don't want to say like, like my best options, or how will my life be different if I decide to do this. And, you know, really looking at the big picture and how much your decisions really affect your life. That always brings it back into perspective for them, and like seeing that aha moment for them is really cool. It's just really awesome. What's the craziest thing that's happened to you during a reading? Okay, this actually happened a couple years ago at an event I was doing here in Chicago, and I had just become a Reiki master. So after my third level of Reiki, I started feeling temperature shifts with the cards, and that was not scary. It was just something I was really getting in touch with. But when I was at an event that was outside and there was wind blowing, like, I kept smelling this weird type of old tobacco and like mixed with cologne. And there were no men around me that had that. You know, if anything, they were very hippie-ish. Like, there was no one wearing cologne. It wasn't that type of environment. It was a festival outside, you know, and there were mosquitoes. Who would put this type of cologne on? And it was not during a reading. I started smelling it before. And then this woman came, and she was older, and she told me I was demonic for doing tarot readings. And, you know, like, what do you say? You're at an event, you don't want to be like, well, fuck you. Like, you're just, okay, thank you. Thanks for sending me to your hell, or that I don't even believe in, whatever. So later on, that woman came back, and she got a reading, you know, of course. So she got a reading, and then all of a sudden we sat down, and I smelt that again. And I didn't, the first time I smelt it, but I didn't really pay attention. I was just like, well, that smell, that's odd. But when she sat down, I was like, what is that? That is so weird, you know, that's really strong. Like, why does she smell like a man wearing cologne? And then as I was doing the reading, it was, you know, a lot of shady cards, you know, the Seven of Swords was one of them, the Two of Cups reversed, the Three of Cups, like, everything leading to some type of, and I believe the Five of Cups. Everything leading to betrayal, Ten of Swords, like betrayal, mistrust, some type of cheating. Like, all of that came up, and I kept smelling that, and it was just nasty. And I was like, I'm sorry, I just cannot keep, like, the smell away from me. Like, I don't understand what it is. And I told her what it was, and she, like, just got real quiet and wide-eyed and stared at me, and I was like, you know, maybe, I don't know who has this shit on them, but it's just strong, and she couldn't smell it, and I thought that was weird, because how do you not smell it, and you're right in front of me? But she said that her husband had just passed away, and that there were a lot of things that she had to tell him from their marriage, and I didn't, like, say, so you were cheating, or so there was some type of thing, you know, but it was very obvious, and she was not very happy that that came up, because that was not her question. So that was probably the weirdest thing, and she was, I want to say she was in her mid-40s, you know, not very old at all, mid to late 40s, something like that. And I believe he died from something very, very sudden. Some type of lung or yeah, it's something with his lungs. And she wasn't expecting it. And I guess she had unfinished business to tell him. So she never admitted to anything, but it's kind of obvious. And that always stuck with me, how strongly that came in. Because I feel like if I was all clear on my third eye, I could relay his message, but then again, maybe I didn't want to. Maybe he was just wanting to call her, like, you fucking whore, how could you do this? Like, you know, I don't know. But that was probably the weirdest thing. So yeah, that was it. This is the Arwen's tarot tag. It was really fun. This was pretty cool. I haven't thought about that in a very, very long time. So this was fun. Thanks, Arwen. Thanks, everybody who put this together. I'm not really sure who did, but it's pretty cool. And I've been enjoying watching other people. It's awesome. So thanks for watching. Bye.